originalhits.com.
Download your favorite song at Original Hits.
You say got your weird. Stop talking, eyes on the road. Don't be surprised when it's by when I'm home. You don't even care, you just wanna be ahead. But I'm in another gear, I'll pack and I'm gone. Why you gotta be like that? I take away a G, put a G right back. You take away a G, give it all to your G's. And you never hurting me, nah, let it be no fronting now. No fronting, can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you're joining us from, you're right back on the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN for short. And you are joining us on the final episode of season 3 of the High Zone. So, again, thank you so much with us throughout season 3 and the other 2 seasons that we shot. But like I always ask of you, is please to share the program on your individual social media page. That is share the High Zone on your Facebook page, and also make sure to follow the Liberia Radio and Television Network on Facebook and YouTube. So we're here again with another episode of the High Zone. You know, the High Zone is a political, education, and informative panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasion. We try to bring you balance of discussions and discussion on social economic issues in Liberia. And just by way of the opinions and position offered here is not of the network, but of the individuals panelists that will be offering it. And as always, you know, here on the High Zone, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. And we bring you our show in the following format. We bring you our current event. We take a break, bring you our discussions for the night, take a break, and then bring you the icebreaker with announcement, and then we draw the curtain to the show. So with that being said, before I get right into our current event, let me again remind you to please share the program on your social media page. That is on Facebook. And also make sure to follow the network and encourage your friends and family to follow the network on Facebook and YouTube as well. So let me bring you the current event, and beginning with the diaspora starting in Sudan. It has been reported by a non-governmental organization in Sudan that at least 13 children killed by suspected measles outbreak in Sudan's displacement camp. And this development has been reported on CNN, so you can have more information on that. But let me just read a piece I have here for you. At least 13 children have died in recent weeks during the suspected measles outbreak at internal displacement camp in Sudan's White Nile state, amid conflict between the country's 2 warring factions, according to an international medical NGO. According to an international medical NGO, I'm sorry. Meanwhile, there has been a steep rise in Sudanese refugees since fighting between the Sudanese Armed Forces (SAF) and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) broke out on April 15. Nearly 2.8 million people have fled, according to data from the IOM, the UN Migration Agency. At least 2,152,936 people are estimated to have been internally displaced. Moving on to neighboring Sierra Leone. Let me pull out this story for you real quick. Moving on to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone president re-elected, barely avoiding a runoff. The main opposition candidate has rejected the results, and elections observers have raised concern over the lack of transparency during the vote count. So, Sierra Leone President Julius Maada Bio won re-election in the West African nation of Sierra Leone on Tuesday of last week, a result rejected by his main opponent and questioned by some observers who cited a lack of transparency in the electoral process. The next development we have for you is from Senegal. Senegal Macky Sall rules out third terms after deadly protest. The incumbent president says in a live stream on his Facebook page that he will not run in the 2024 election, but insists that Senegal's constitution would have allowed his candidacy. And that decision came after a deadly protest. That's it for our current events in the diaspora. We'll move on to Liberia, beginning with the Liberian People Party, that is the party of Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. The Liberian People Party to officially announce to the public their vice standard bearer in Emmanuel K. Ure Yakpawolo in Banga, Bon County on July 8, 2023. So this Saturday, the Liberian People Party will officially announce to the public their vice standard bearer. The next development we have from Liberia is one from the National Elections Commission. The NEC hosts strategic dialogue with political parties on implementation of the minimum 30% gender quota and gender quota MOU. So to see that press statement, go visit the um, National Elections Commission website, and you will have that press statement there. Now, the final development we have from Liberia is the one that will transition into our current event discussion. So before I announce that, before I read that, let me introduce my panelists for the night. We have a full panel tonight, so I'd like to have my panelists on the screen. And while we are working on that, let me ask you to please follow the network. That is the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN for short. And also make sure to leave us your comment, your participation, or feedback on the show in the comment section, or you can reach out to the network on Facebook. Well, welcome, guys, to another episode, the final episode of season 3 on the Hazon. Let me first welcome you individually, and then I will introduce our current event discussion. But it has something to do with the president's son. So, but let me welcome you, Bobby Mitchell Crawford, the Lord Mayor of Bentor. Welcome to another episode of the Hazon.
Thank you, Derek. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been absent for a while, but I'm here today. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. This is Elizabeth Collins. Welcome to another episode of the Hazon.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back. I've been out of here for some time now, for over 40 days. And I want to say thanks for holding the ground, and I'm back. Even though I'm here for the last season, for the last episode season.
The last episode. So
the last episode.
Always good to have you. It's always good to have you.
Thank you.
Mr. Boda, welcome to episode 12, final episode of season 3. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being back, guys. And folks, I'm glad to see all of you tonight.
Mr. Mawolo, welcome to another episode.
Good evening to all, and to our listening audience, wherever you may be. We say good evening, good night, good day, hello, whatever. And we ask you to stay tuned, because this seems like it's going to be fiery tonight. I think there was something that we missed, the case that was taken to the court with Gloria Scott. I think, that's something that's very important to our society. But other than that, I'm happy to be here, and welcome to the rest of the guys. It's good to see all of you. It was good to see you, Derek, and Joseph. But let's get this thing rolling. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And I did not forget about it, but I have it here, but it was taking time to load up. So that's why I just ran over it. But thank you for reminding me of that. But let's come now to you, Blow Choppy Charlie. Welcome to another episode of the Hazon. You're muted.
Yeah. I was saying that it's always good to be back, seeing all the folks, and we're ready for comeback.
Ready for comeback. Thank you, Blow. Thank you for joining us as always. Mr. Ja Winkin, welcome to and final episode, season 3.
Okay, thank you, Derek. Thank you, guys. We are back again, and hopefully, after this final stage, we'll be going live as we are too. Thank you for your hard work, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Jawinkin Wiad and Miss Reverend Adi. I hope you weren't frightened by Blowjay's introduction, but welcome to another episode of Piazza.
Well, greetings to all of you wonderful Liberians, our esteemed panelists. We are here to talk about the greater good of Liberia. I'm not here to come back. I'm not here to come back, but to stick to the facts concerning the change we need for a better Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi. So, guys, again, final episode of season 3. Let's make it a great one. So, let's get started with the current event discussions. I will read two current events, and you guys can give your take on it. First, beginning with former Chief Justice of Liberia, Councilor Musu Scott, if you've been following the news in Liberia, was denied temporary release from the Monrovia Central Prison by Criminal Court A. George Roosevelt Z. Willie, prompting a strong reaction from her, Councilor Scott, as she denies the decision as a travesty of justice. And the other current event we have here is U.S. men national soccer team star and President Weah Santumere Weah touched down in Liberia this week, and we saw massive crowd pull out to welcome him to Liberia. And also, if you've been following social media, he has been referred to as the Prince of Monrovia, and there was a match held in honor of him today at the ATS. So I want you guys to give me your take on those updates coming out of Liberia. So let me start with you, Mr. Mawolo.
Oh my God.
Come on, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, listen. Let me deal with the friend. How they call him, Tim Weir. You know, Liberian people need to find something to do with themselves, and I mean, they're just too less busy. Why is Tim Weir coming to Liberia so important? Why is it important? This man, first thing, he never identified himself as a Liberian. He is not. He doesn't play for Liberia in any aspect. He just happens to be the son of George Weah. So why don't they go and meet Champ when he coming, or Mommy when she coming? I mean, they got all kind of Liberians playing all kind of super how they call it international games all over the world. They don't meet them. Why is Tim Weah arrival so important? You see, we create our own monsters, and then we get surprised when it starts to eat us up. I think that was the epitome of foolishness for them to go to the airport to meet him, to even go on the fee and then get vexed because he didn't play. The man just signed a contract, he will go on the fee and break a leg, and then what you're gonna say? Look, I think it was a bunch of people being less busy, a bunch of people who let themselves be used all the time for things that are not important to their lives or their well-being. Now, as far as the issue with Gloria Musu Scott, I see the Unity Party people trying to show force and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's after the fact. They should have started doing this thing daily since they accused that woman, and she won't be in jail today. But they sat down there and let her go to jail. You get CDC the power. And whether people want to believe it or not, the people control the court too, just like they do the legislature. And so they will drag this case. They will humiliate her, and I don't care how much she talk. From what I heard, they're not going to put that case on the docket until August 10th. That's more than a month from now. She's going to be in jail all that time. They refuse her bond, and they're accusing 4 people of killing one person. I think there's a way to get the case thrown out, and you say the woman has seven stab wounds on her, and you only talk about one weapon. So were they taking turns in stabbing her? Uh, the case is just too blurry to make any sense. And what I see here is that they trying to make excuse that girl's death will be in vain. They will not be able to convict the accused of anything because the first thing is that if somebody don't die on the spot, it's not murder, it's manslaughter. So to charge them for murder, and according to Liberia's jurisprudence, you can't go up or go down from the charges you brought the first time. So if you charge her with murder, you can't say, well, since she didn't die on the spot, I'm manslaughter now. No. So you can't charge her with murder because the girl didn't die on the spot. You can't charge anybody with murder because she didn't die on the spot. The second thing is that you can't charge four people for killing one person with one object. And so this case seems to me like it's going to go in the garbage can like all the rest, and nobody's going to be held responsible for that child's death, and she will have died in vain. Third thing, I don't know why they still keeping her body. I don't know why they had to keep it this long. But then again, it's I think the family acted too late.
Thank
They
you.
should have
Thank you.
started long ago.
Thank you, Mr. Mawolo. And guys, as you can see, we have a full panel tonight. So I will be keeping my eye on the clock. So you will be allotted a minute and 15 seconds to give your input. I know I didn't say that before Mr. Mawolo went. So just look out for that. I'll be interrupting you, unfortunately. But again, let me come down to you, Mrs. Collins. Talk to us about the Prince of Monrovia, a rapper, and also if you care to, you can talk to us about former Chief Justice Councilor Scott's bill being denied again.
Um, First of all, it's just a waste of Liberian taxpayer money because I know going on now to go meet him, I know they had to use money and like wasting Liberian taxpayer money, and it was no a significant um time to go and meet him on what for what. He just ordinary citizen, or he's the son of the president. So what? So they have to go meet him. So it was just a waste of time, and Liberian people, like Mauro just said, Liberian people got too many time on their head. They don't have nothing to do with their time, so they look for the least thing to go and and make noise and make stupid noise because it's just a stupid noise they are making. For Gloria Mususka, she brought this on herself to begin with. If you are former justice and you will sit there and let, for what I heard, I'm not going to say that now, but for what I heard and what I gather, you're supposed to if you have people that came to your house, and this was not the first attempt, according to them.
10 seconds. Go ahead, you got 10 seconds. 10 seconds,
Yeah,
go ahead.
this was not the first attempt. So she brought this on herself. Now she's gonna be humiliated, and I don't think nothing will come from all of it. She's gonna be in our jail for her own way of analyzing things, or for her own way of what happened to her, and her family member. She should have done something about it. So she brought this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Collins, for your contribution. Now let's come to you, Blow the Choppy Charlie. Talk to us.
Yeah. What I'm listening to is almost like in a comedy show where people are trying to scrap other people behavior. If a relative went to Liberia, other family member went to see them, why should that be objected? Why should people be banging the table and cashing the teeth? Think we are a rabbi in Liberia, the people who went to visit him my love of him as his fans. I don't think there's anything wrong with that people visiting. So it's a good thing that they welcome him and celebrated him. He has flown the flag of Liberia many times in his activity. He has put Liberia up. But let's come to Girl Scout. This is a good day for Liberia when a powerful president can be booked and face the music of the law. Girl Scout is not above the law of Liberia. The law that denied her bill is consistent. That law has been in the books in Liberia for the longest of ever. The enforcement of that law should be celebrated by all Liberians. The charges against her, the evidence will be brought to court, and at the end of the day, we'll see where the facts goes. But so far, from all of the things that we've heard and seen, there's no evidence pointing to an intruder outsider breaking into a house or committing those crimes. Anywhere in the world where such a crime occurred, those who are in the house or the occupant of the house will be held liable. Yes, 10 person can be held for the murder of one person. It's possible. It doesn't matter whether it was one weapon or two weapons. You can even use one weapon. One person can stab that person several times. So the facts will be judged in court, and I'm sure at the end of the day, Girls Scout will be found guilty for those crimes.
Thank you very much, Claudia Choppy Charlie. Now let's take you, Mr. Jai Winkin. We give us your contribution on the discussion on the current events.
Okay, thank you guys. We are back again, as we said earlier. I will start with the arrival of the president's son, Tim Weah. People going to maintain him at the airport. It is not surprising to me because in Liberia, people are desperate for survival. If anybody offer anything to show up, they will show up. So I don't see that to be anything to me. As we all said here, any of us that live here today, if you got money, you can organize people, they can meet you at the airport. So I don't want to really dwell on that much. But with respect to the former Chief Justice, the case is in court. Why it is true that nobody is above the law, but other people were killed, like how they call those who killed the auditors. We haven't seen such a focus of this current government in bringing the perpetrator, those who caused the death of the auditor to book. I think that's why people are questioning why now about the Gloria Moses thing. But I don't want to go into whether it is right or not. The case will be adjudged or it is in court. So my view is that let's watch and see what will become of the case.
Yeah, you have 10 more seconds. Let me just squeeze this question in real quick. Do you think Tim Weah is deserving of the title bestowed upon him as Prince of Monrovia? Just quickly.
Well, Tim Weah doesn't play for Liberia. Internationally,
he's the president's son.
Yes, but he's not a Liberian. Oh, because he's not a Liberian when it comes to sport.
You don't think he's
he's not a Liberian when it comes to sport. So whatever he does really doesn't directly benefit Liberia. It benefits the country he plays for.
All right, thank you. Bobby Mitchell Crawford, the Law Mayor of Benton. Let me take you next.
Thank you, Derek. This may sound redundant, but I don't think this should have been a topic to begin with in the first place. That has to do with the president's son. You know, in most African countries, this is nothing that is new. The president in power, he enjoys certain privilege. Even here in the United States, President Obama is not in power, but whatever Shasha does, it makes news. So the fact that Tim Weah is coming to Liberia, even though he doesn't play for the national team, but he's the president's son. So whatever name they want to ascribe to him, that's the president prerogative. So they are the ruling family. I don't have any qualms about that. And the fact that, yes, I agree with Mr. Maulo, Liberians are less busy, but you can't blame them. When you have people that are woefully unemployed, they don't have leisure time. Well, they have enough leisure time on their hands, so to speak. There's nothing better to do. In Liberian, typically, with all due respect, we are nosy. We like to be in the fry, so to speak. So, I mean, anything that's associated with, anything that has to do with news and just music or whatever it is, we'll find ourselves, in the center of it. So, I don't want to give him much of a credence. The young man, he's deserving of whatever he has done so far, to sign a contract with Juventus, and then he plays for the U.S. national team. He's a Liberian, so I really don't have any qualms about that. And I don't think it should even make the news that the president's son. They can even call him king, for all I care. And, that the president's son, they can call him any kind of name. With regards to the Gloria Musu case, I think I wrote extensively a couple of weeks ago. My background is in criminal justice, and I think she bears some culpability here. But what happened was the government barged the case to begin with. The way they went about, presenting the case.
You're out of time, but I will let you conclude.
Okay, yeah. So she bears some culpability, but it's just the way the government decided to get the case that became the problem. Now the jail, they talk about they're going to produce evidence. Our criminal justice system, especially in criminal cases, you have to say that someone is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And I don't think the government has established that, even though there exists some degree of culpability on her part, the government are yet to establish that. But we will expand on that later.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Now let's come to you, Reverend Adi. Talk to us about Tim Weah and former Chief Justice Councilor Gloria Musu's deal being denied again.
Well, certainly for me, I have no problem with Tim Weah arriving in Liberia, and Liberians going to meet an iconic Liberian who happens to be the son of our president, George Weah. So sports in our history often unites us beyond our political divides. So I certainly have no problem. He's a Liberian celebrity, and he can be welcomed by those who cherish him. Not so much necessarily because he is the president's son, but he certainly indeed put Liberia on the map. So I certainly have no problem with that. And I don't think Liberians are less busy. I'm sure there were individuals who have jobs that went to go and see him as well, because he certainly represents an iconic future for those who have aspirations in sports and would aspire to want to be at that celebrity status through his accomplishments. So I have no problems with that.
Yeah, that's correct. I'll take that less busy part. That's correct. You're right.
As far as the names that they've given him, listen, sports is one instrument that unites us beyond our political divides and tribalistic divisions. So I have no problem with that. On the issue of Councillor Scott, her lawyer, Amara Sharif, stated that government withheld very crucial evidence from them and thus denying them the ability to put forth a full-fledged argument that will be used as exculpatory, in this case. But then again, Article 21 of our Constitution declares that murder is non-bailable, depending on the other penal code. But that being said, the way government has handled this matter certainly informs or gives the impression that there are some political motivation. To Mr. Mawolo, in instances like these, everything is not political. Madam Scott's travesty of justice is not her prerogative alone. Wherever justice is compromised, has a national impact on the nation. So this is not a political party instance. It's our issue when justice is a travesty. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi. Now let's come down to you, Mr. Boda. Give us your take.
Well, like I said, everybody has said almost similar. George, the son of the president coming to Liberia has spoken in 2 years. So they love this kind of thing. They want the publicity. They want to see whatever. So I got no qualm with Prince Weah or how you call him. I mean, that shouldn't be of a discussion, like Bobby said earlier. So but with the instance of the former Chief Justice Grover Scott, I mean, it's unfortunate that we have to be on this road, especially knowing she's a legal mind. She sat in that chair at the judiciary. She knows the legal implication of what we're talking about here. And for her to stay sitting in her house there and things happen and she didn't protect herself legally, it's unfortunate, but then let the legal aspect take its course. So that's all I can say to that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Boda, and to all of you panelists for your contribution on the current event and discussions. And to those of you watching us, please, this is just the beginning of the show. Stay with us and make sure to share the program on your individual social media pages. We will take a very brief break. When we come back, we will get right into our first discussion and focus right on the CDC ongoing primary as a D2 law District 2 Mozzarella County lawmaker Jimmy Smith suspended his membership after losing the primary, claiming that the party betrayed him. But let's take a very brief break. When we come back, we will get more into talking about CDC primary.
Hi, my name is Martha Tomle, owner of Matisia Natural Hair Salon, located on 4405 Chestnut Street. We are specializing in locks, natural hair, braids, and etc. Call us for all your natural hair needs. You can reach out at 267-703-2330. If you have pictures or videos you want to send us, you can send it to 267-224-0693.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're back on the Horizon, being brought to you by the Liberia Radio and Television Network. And before we get into our discussion, please share the program on your Facebook page and make sure to follow the network LRTN Live on Facebook or the Liberia Radio and Television Network on YouTube. Follow the network, subscribe, and encourage your friends and family to do the same. So now let's get right back to our panelists and get into this discussion. The ongoing CDC primary. We've been seeing videos of CDC primary in Mozzarella County. We got the news of District 2 Mozzarella County or District 2 Mozzarella County lawmaker Jimmy Smith suspended his membership and claiming that the party betrayed him. And also in other news, we saw the sanction Nathaniel McGill confirmed to contest on CDC ticket in Margibi County. So we're into CDC camp, we're talking about the primary, and we'll talk about that news. But let me bring this to you panelists, and let me start with you on this one, of course. Floji, Choppy Charlie, talk to us about the primary and also on that development concerning Nathaniel McGill.
Oh wow. Anyway, McGill registration is consistent with the laws in Liberia, so there's nothing much to add to that. So far, there is nothing in the books calling the Liberian law that bars McGill from contesting or exercising his franchise as a Liberian citizen. Concerning the CDC primaries, it demonstrates a good governance, democratic government by the CDC, trying to perfect institutional building as opposed to those in the opposition. We did not see anything of such in the opposition. Those who claiming to represent good government has not evident such credentials, and that reminds us that they have no good governing instinct to govern the country. For Jimmy Smith himself, the argument raised by Jimmy Smith tells you the mentality of people who claims to be Democrat. He says the party betrayed him. How can everybody else participating in a democratic process and you claiming that there should be no democratic process, rather you should be crowned as a consensus candidate? It's an institution. And because he endorsed the president, so that means he must be given a slot. Endorsement of the president doesn't mean the party is going to accept you. The institution has operated based on rules and regulations, and the rules were there that people should go to primary, and once you win that primary, you be the candidate. But interestingly, they also demonstrate George Weah's own democratic credentials.
You have 10 seconds, Claudia. Go ahead.
Yeah, it also demonstrates George Weah's own democratic credentials. Yet people endorsing, but you did not interfere in the process, and you allow the process to obtain, and whoever the people choose are those who will be representing the party. Good governance on the part of George Weah.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Charlie. Before I move to our next panelist, let me recognize the presence of Bishop Hagar. Welcome to the last episode of season 3 on the Hands On. You're muted.
Also, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure having you. And just to update you, we're in CDC camp, talking about the ongoing primary, and Nathaniel McGill confirmed to contest on CDC TK in Margibi County, and also the Jimmy Smith suspending his membership. So I just wanted to update you on that. So now let me take you, Mr. Boda. Let me take you next. You listen to Flo J. So let me get your take, and I will ask Flo J, and give you, based on what you said, what you will say. I will have my question for you as well. But give us a take on the CDC ongoing primary.
Well, my take on the primary is every political institution has the right to conduct themselves however they want to during the primary in guideline to of their party. So whatever the CDC is doing here is a political party prerogative and a guideline to govern themselves. So I'm not going to fight the CDC for what they're doing in our primary. I mean, however they come out to elect that leadership, that's totally up to the CDC to do so. So when it comes to Nigeria, go ahead.
Since you still have enough time, though, just can you address what Flo just mentioned, though, that President Weah is setting the tone because the opposition community did not conduct any primary, speaking specifically to CPP, and I'm sure he was referring to CPP. So
I think I'm addressing the situation with you to tell you that logic, CDC, everybody, they're not going to conform to what CDC is doing. CDC is not a model. So they're not setting stage for anybody. They are not model that we're following or any political institution is following. That's the point I'm making to you. Whatever CDC is doing right now is their own political. They're not doing anything that is new in the political arena. That is not a new thing. That is not a new development. That is not a new strategy. Electing in primary is a common thing within every political party. So it's nothing new to make news of or something. There's not a new development. If it's development for the CDC, then the laws is same because then they don't know what they've been doing as a political party.
Thank you very much, Miss. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
So when it comes to Nathaniel McGill's situation, the allegation of sanction on him is expedient with the United States government, not the LeBron government. And the Election Commission cannot hold Nathaniel McGill back from issuing any right to vote. He has never been charged with a crime. There is sanction given by a foreign country. It has to go through the legal process. So if wherever constituent you're going to represent is left with the LeBron people to decide if the way the outcome of the sanction that he is making representing applicably, it is a choice to do so. We see in America, things happen. So with that being said, yeah, our current president has all the legal issues going on, and yeah, he's still a front runner for
10 seconds, Mr. Boda.
For a political party. So these things happen.
Thank you very much. Now let me take you, Reverend Addy. Talk to us about the ongoing CDC primary and Nathaniel McGill's situation, as well as Jimmy Smith.
Well, I heard someone say that CDC is the model of democracy, something I have a very serious problem with. Because as a matter of fact, there are some members of the NPP who took delegations that were never incorporated in the primary. So certainly they're not a model of democracy. Everybody was voting on a white ballot predominantly. Is that democracy? Make no mistake. That's why the gentleman stated that he was revoking his membership towards the CDC. So quite frankly, it's very sad, not to mention the fact that an academic foster, Mr. Buffer, whose degree was revoked by the EU University in Liberia, but that's the guy that won one of their quote-unquote primaries. So make no mistake, we are very serious people here. As far as Mr. McGill is concerned, Bloje stated that he believed in justice and that the Chief Justice should face justice. But if his government was serious about justice, he would certainly have forwarded Mr. McGill and the rest of others who were sanctioned to face justice. So clearly, this is sheer a matter of a charade by this government who has no idea of what justice looks like, and we're looking forward to its change so that justice can actually be served, as opposed to being an international icon of buffoonery.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi, and thank you for staying right on time. So let me come now to you, Bobby Mitchell Crawford. Give us your take.
International icon of buffoonery. I I like that word.
Thank you.
The thing is, it is laughable. It's not comical for Blodgett to insinuate that the CDC is a model for democracy. The very document that the Congress for Democratic Change is not even supposed to be called out to begin with in the first place, because that whatever document or agreement they have with the corruption King Kong group, that title of the former speaker and the National Patriotic Party rather, is just a fraction of that party that is in coalition with them. So the document I was on file at the Election Commission has expired, and yet the CDC is still saying they are the Congress for Democratic Change. So that is a violation in itself. But again, it's like Bureau of Terror country that how they conduct election. Election laws are flagrantly violated, and everybody just turn the other cheek on the other side. If you drive through the streets of Monrovia from Vermont House all the way to Capitol around JFK era, President Weah poster is all over the place. It's not even election season yet. So it is laughable for Blodgett to come here to lecture us about CDC being the model for democracy because they held a primary, some selection process, and then they just went ahead and put whosoever that's supposed to lead the party. What's going to be a problem for them? And Mr. Border, I think you're wrong. There's a reason why abstention was placed on him. Him being McGill, he was engaged in an act that is perceived to be crime in the eyes of the law. So they say he engaged in corruption, political malfeasance, and all of that. That was as a consequence of that, he would live sexual labor on him. So now it is the prerogative of the government to prosecute him. If they don't want to do that, it's going to be their political Waterloo. So let's take for example, if Mr. Magate goes and he wins the election as a senator from Mountain County, that becomes a problem for the CDC government. So it's almost like a poking the eye to Uncle Sam. It's like, we don't care about your sanction. We don't care about what you have to say about this man. In our eye, he's a good man, and we're going to carry him. And I think it's a mistake because for political expediency, they should shy away from Mr. McGill because he's bad look. And international relation, you cannot wipe the hands that feed you. Take it or leave it. Uncle Sam is our big brother. We cannot just poke our hands in their face.
Thank you. You have exhausted your 1 minute and 15 seconds. Now let me come to you. But thank you for your contribution, though. Bishop Hager, talk to us. Give us your take. And I don't know if I told you the rule, but tonight we have a full panel, so I'm actually looking at the time. You have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Give us your take.
My take on the CDC primary.
The ongoing CDC primary section, Nathaniel McGill confirmed that he's registered to.
Listen, I don't want to get you reference to CDC. These are loose. They can have all the primary they want to have. It is up to them. They have the primary. The last time is nominated or selected Thomas Fala as Senator of Mosavara County, and they said they will follow the democratic process. We defeated him right in Thomas Fala's own constituent, where he took the Liberian people money and built that school. Right in our precinct, we beat him mightily. So they can have all their primary. We're waiting for October 10th to show the CDC and to show the corrupt George Weah that his season is over. I'm just counting days now to tell that man goodbye. And we're going to, all that thing he's been stealing from the Liberian people, his time is coming to be in court with Georgia and take all the property back because of Liberian people money. I don't care about what CDC have primary. I give me pay attention to CDC primary. Make no. I don't even want to hear about that nonsense. Whoever they
Thank you.
select, that's up to. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hager, and thank you as well for staying right on time. Now, let me take you, Mr. J. Mawolo. Give us your take.
Well, listen. As far as let me deal with the McGill stuff first. You see, we need to be very serious about our country and what we do to our people. Look, you can't be sitting down on somebody's shoulder and telling them they stink. America did their due diligence. They told you that these people were corrupt. They did their investigation. They found them to be corrupt. They sanctioned them. If we care for our people, the government was supposed to investigate them. If they found not guilty, leave them alone. If they were found guilty, penalize them. You fire them from the government. Whether you were forced or not, you fire them from the government. If these people, you give them the option of running and they run, it will end up like burning Samukai. And if these people decide that they're going to arrest these people, how can these people serve the people who hello? We can't continue to play on the ignorance of our people. The government at this point should be protecting the people against these kind of things because it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And as far as the CDC primaries, and now I don't know which one of the CDC is it. Is it the coalition or the what they call them? The other CDC,
Congress.
the
I think
Congress,
it's both.
right? It can be both because then the LP, how they call it,
I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
NPP, and the other people should be having their primaries too.
You
But
have 10 seconds, by the way.
yeah, they people like to play with this word democracy. Democracy. Do we really know what it means? Do we really want to be democratic? I don't think so. And so I think it's a joke. They're putting who they want to put there, and we're ready. Whoever they bring, we're ready to face them.
Thank you very much, Mr. J.
I never
Mawolo.
gave my comment about not telling my gear.
Because
Yeah, because you're feeling your
he
gun.
ran out of time. But now it's time for a rebuttal. So I know Mr. Boda, your name was mentioned, but we say you were wrong on your statement about Nathaniel McGill and also Blow J. You had a lot of comments directed at you. So if you have a rebuttal, Mr. Boda or Blow J,
Yeah, I mean, I think Boris trying to have a fight for nothing. I'm not. What I'm saying here is Mr. McGill was being suspended or accused of for whatever you call it. And Mr. McGill had now been brought to justice to lay that to rest. And he moved to run into his county or wherever he going to go be a senator. And the election commission deemed it necessary to let him in. That is the prerogative of the voters probably in that county to see if they want to deal with such a situation. That's what I'm saying. So, Uncle saying, and one thing we need to understand, America is a sovereign country, Liberia is a sovereign country. Despite the relationship.
Who do you use?
So let us not downplay our own country relation important. If the McGill make a mistake, he has not been judged, that does not negate the fact that Liberia cannot be a sovereign state. The idea that because America is America, so everything we should dance to the tune of America, if we don't dance to that music, in however way, that means we cannot survive. I think that's a wrong notion that we keep having as a people, and that's why where we are today.
thank you very much.
I disagree for you there.
Yeah. Let me just quickly respond to some of the comments.
I will come to you because Bishop Hager was saying.
I haven't said anything yet.
No. Listen, Bishop Hager. I need to take Mr. Weir first. I honestly thought I came to you though, but I'm sorry for that. But give us your take on the CDC ongoing primary. Talk to us, and I apologize for that.
Okay, I know that you forgot about that, but I like to be deep a little bit with those regarding the Mange issue. Why it is true that there is a sanction on him, he as a Liberian, as far as he's concerned, he hasn't been charged. So he has a right to contest, in my opinion. Why I do not support that, but nothing brought against him. So why shouldn't he? Unless the law tells him that he has a right to do whatever he wants to do. Uh, with respect to the sedition, CDC, something they have a right. They can use that also to raise to raise to raise concern that they are still in the result, they are still around to mobilize voters to participate in the process for them. Come October the 20, October 10, 2023. Whether it is done in the studio, whether they pick people, but the idea they are gathering people, I think that is a good strategy to conscientize Liberian people that CDC is still around. So we Liberians, I will go back again to the guy who was sanctioned. Well, the Liberian people are also reading the tea leaves that is happening like in the United States area. Former President Trump is charged. He's guilty in some cases in New York, but he's still contesting. So Liberians are looking at that. If they are taking the playbook from that, they can look at Trump behavior and do whatever they want to do to in Liberia. Why it is true that I don't support that, but even though we can use the whole Uncle Sam, but Uncle Sam are the same people who are allowing Trump, in spite of all the charges, in spite of all the laws that he has allegedly broken, he's still contesting. So why other people don't do that? That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawinkin. I think you raised a good point, but let's wait for whatever everybody you have coming your way. But now let me take you, Bishop Hagan. Mr. Collins, have I taken you on this topic already?
No.
You're on mute. I'm sorry?
I said I was attending to something real quick, but I'm back.
Okay, so are you in a position now to give your take on the CDC ongoing primary?
Well, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, primary is part of the process of an election. So I think CDC having their primary and it's necessary. It's something that they have to do. But people have issue with what is going on in terms of the primary. I don't know whether the election commission has something to say about that, or election commission, can control that. But again, CDC is a ruling party. They have control over the election commission more or like, whether somebody say it's true or not. The election commissioner is being appointed by the president, so I guess certain things will go under the law, will go under a notice. In my mind, again, it's left with the various political parties to, say something about it. But if they don't say anything, as usual, everything will go unnoticed, and it will just go like that.
Thank you.
That's what I have to say about that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Collins. And Bishop Hager, before I take you, let me just remind you guys we have very few minutes left for this discussion. So keep your rebuttal under 30 seconds or 30-second max. Now let me take you, Bishop Hager.
Yeah. With all due respect, I'm not questioning the sovereignty of Liberia, but we lack the capacity. Liberians in every area of a government, even our budget, will depend on the U.S. government to help us. Now, if you depend on somebody to help you, and the person help you, then you can't reject the kind of help the person doing for you. You want the money, but when they give you information, intelligence, then you reject it. That is hypocrisy. If you want
thank you, Bishop Hager. Let's take. I'm sorry, and let's thank you very much, Bishop Hager. Now let's take you, Blow J. Choppy Charlie.
Well, this again, mind boggling. There are people who say the CDC is not modeling democratic tendency. No, primaries in Liberia, especially the primary, you have about 98,000 persons participating in the CDC primary across Liberia. That's the first time in the history of the country it's ever happened. Usually, political parties have had delegates. The CDC have conducted primaries in the past, but it has been by representation. Delegates, few people in the district, leaders go and decide who. This time, it's a mass process, but ordinary people themselves are engaged. But 98,000 persons across the country participating in this primary, and somebody say it's not more than democracy, it's not a real change. There has to be joking.
Wait, let me interrupt you and ask you a question. Did Nathaniel McGill win the primary in Maghebe County?
Of course. Look, the primary, other people, yeah, he did win. He participated in the process.
Yeah, I just want.
And I wanted to, yes, talking about McGill, I wanted to address the point because the idea that people say people winning on white ballot.
Yes, that's what I want you to. That was
that's the point I wanted to address. People winning on white ballot means it's not democratic. Look, the process was held. Everybody had a right to contest. If other people felt that they was not going to be successful in the contest and withdrew, and somebody won a white ballot, it does not erase the democratic aspect of the process. The process was held. There are other processes where other people were defeated. We saw the case with Jimmy Smith. And he left the party. Nobody stopped him from participating. He withdrew himself, and somebody else contested, uncontested and won. There are other cases, other people lost. So it was not everywhere white ballot. There was places where people won a white ballot because the other opponents did not see the need to challenge them. But the fact that a process went on, the fact that ordinary people gathered to decide the fate of who will represent them, is a refreshing phenomenon in our politics and governance process, and I think everybody who believes in the process of championing democracy should celebrate what the CDC is doing. There was a coalition comprising 9 political parties. All these political parties were part of the process. Again, like I said, you have about 98,000 persons across Liberia participating in these primaries.
Thank you, Flo J. And guys, if you have a rebuttal, just let me know so I can set
Can I say something here? I got one.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Listen,
before you speak, before you go ahead, if
2
you
things.
Flo J, let me know.
Flo J, you don't make a blanket statement of things you're not aware of or you don't know. The CPP did do primaries at all the counties. They did primaries in all the counties. Their delegates were sent to the convention to be certified. So to say, oh, this happens since 1847, I don't know why you people are intent on misinforming the Liberian populace. It is wrong. This is not a joke.
Not a primary, a dark room convention, where elites go and sit down and make decisions. That's not primary. We did not see that. We did not see ordinary people from the party voting. We did not see that. We only saw a gang of elites situated. We only saw a gang of elites situated in Ganta making decisions in a dark room, in a smoke-filled dark room.
This
kind of lies that is not good for this country. And
we did not see ordinary people voting as we see with the CDC. The CDC is very transparent. Everybody can see the process. Ordinary people going and casting a ballot for the choice. That's democracy. That is democracy.
Like we saw in the text message, Joe, we are sending money. Come on, man.
Let me get your input real quick because Flo J in his initial statements made a statement that the opposition community, there's no primary. I think you mentioned about Unity Party running away from primary. Can you,
knows it.
Mr. Maolo, can we allow Reverend Adi to address?
Who saw the primary?
Yes, when Unity Party was a part of the CPP and the opted not to do primary, I think Flo J made mention of that. Can you respond to that?
You know, when I listen to Flo J, he's more concerned about the process. So everything that has a process, whether fraudulently done or correctly done, the idea is a process that makes it a democracy. Unfortunately, that's not how democracy works. So, I mean, to further dignify the mockery of democracy that was displayed by the CDC it's certainly a waste of my time, to be quite frankly and honest with you. When you look at the results of certain key people, you take a man like Wolokali and you, who is the minister. I mean, like I think the deputy minister of finance. I mean, of commerce in the finance area. He's the one who is the vice chair of finance for the CDC. So you can just imagine how that party will be sponsored by taxpayers' resources. But make no mistake, Jefferson Koji, among others, who've been elected overwhelmingly, an individual who was sanctioned, was elected. And then they were claiming 98,000 people participated in the primary. Where's the record? Unfortunately, I mean, I wouldn't dignify that. On the issue as to whether other parties are doing primary, Mr. Mawula just confirmed that his party did his primary in its own transparency through a convention or whatever means possible. But what they did was not democracy, and that is why people are walking away. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all of your contribution. We have exhausted the time for this discussion, so we will take a very brief break, and when we come back, we will do a revision of the CPP USA convention that was held in Philadelphia, USA over the weekend. But for now, let's take a very brief break. I'll see you after the break.
Maintaining your vehicle can be a major investment. That's why here at Brothers Auto Care, we pride ourselves on providing professional and reliable auto care at affordable rates. Whether you need an inspection, new brakes, or diagnostic reports, our skillful and experienced mechanics are here for you every step of the way. Call Brothers Auto Care now to schedule your next auto maintenance and repair service. At Brothers Auto Care, we help you drive home with peace of mind.
Sota blaga, pata blaga, mepa blaga, kapakwan raito, noika raito no, kapakwan raito, tato imayo yure yamawo nye kapakwan raito.
Good news, excellent news. A real son of Bon County, a humble man that has made many positive impacts on Liberia, has been chosen by the integrity icon, the man who was most qualified to change Liberia for the better, Councillor Tiawo Gongolo, to be his vice presidential candidate for the upcoming October elections. Dr. Emmanuel K. Yuri Yapaulo is expected to be announced to the public this Saturday, July 8, 2023. It is all happening at David Kuyon Sports Stadium in Banga beginning at 11 a.m. Come and see your own local artists: Whitmond Mantor, Tumete Wama, Jeremiah Koyo, J. Richard Saki, Moses Saki, and Jonah Beng. Councillor Gongoro and Dr. Yuri Yapaulo have the room to demonstrate how they will clean Liberia of bad behaviors, especially corruption. So bring your broom to show support. Come on, come all.
Now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still here on the Liberia Radio and Television Network. You are watching episode 12, season 3 of The Hands-On, and I'm the moderator here tonight. My name is Derek Yale. And again, guys, I always encourage you to please share the program on your individual social media pages on Facebook and YouTube. Follow the network, share, subscribe, and follow. Encourage your friends and family to do the same. Now let's get back to our panelists and get right back into reviewing the CPP USA convention that was held in Philadelphia, USA over the weekend. So guys, as you all know, Fixer 1 and Fixer 2 was here. We did a meet and greet in Burlington, New Jersey, and then we did a convention in Philadelphia. So let's talk about that event, all of it, including Elizana Cummins, the standard bearer, being enraged, a question on homosexuality, and the vice standard bearer stating that no one in Liberia can challenge her or intimidate her intellectually except the standard bearer. And also, let's talk about the fundraiser. So, all of the issues surrounding the CPP USA convention is yours to talk about for the next 15 minutes. Let me start with you, Mr. J. Marwell. Talk to us about the CPP USA convention.
Well, sometimes we gotta be careful with our diction. He was not enraged. He
Go
was
ahead.
frustrated over people trying to be rude. There is nobody in Liberia who is interested in any way in what's going on in the country can say they haven't heard Mr. Cummings respond to that question. He has responded 1,000,001 times. They have the tip of how they call the boy Obey confessing how he lied on the man name. They got it all over the country, all over the place. And for people to stay at this late day be asking such a stupid question, of course, he had to answer them in their currency. So he was not enraged. He was just trying to tell them, stop asking me that stupid question. Okay? As you will well know, that the convention was very successful. It ended up with a ball and fundraiser. But before then, he visited Liberians where they were. He went on the football field after the meet and greet. He went to their different hanging out spots. He went to the soccer field where they go to play on Saturdays, and he confronted all those who say they had questions. He was standing there. She was standing there, and as you will well recount, they had no questions to ask. They were
10
standing
seconds.
there and asking the same question over and over as if they were not hearing what the previous person had asked. But the problem is with us is that we know the truth, but we intentionally want to run away from the truth. And that's what we're always regretting.
Thank you.
Because the
Thank you.
man was standing right in front of them, they couldn't ask him. But as
Thank
soon
you.
as he
Thank you.
turned it back, then they ready to talk nonsense.
Thank you, Mr. Marwell. And just to clarify, you have your opinion on what you saw, Mr. Cummings, but I think he was irritated by that question. He wasn't raised, and that led him up to not even answering the question that was asked, but instead addressing the romance. I just wanted to clarify. That's what I saw in the video that I saw. But let me take you now, Blow J Choppy Charlie. You have a minute and 15 seconds. Give us a take on CPP USA convention.
Well, I'll characterize it as a learning curve for the ANC or CPP. The CDC again model these kinds of activity. We've had conventions in Philadelphia, USA, and we've had these balls. We've visited these places. Our stand-up barrel, now president, did these in the past. So I have no quarrel with them doing that. It's a learning curve, and maybe
Well,
they should continue to
why don't you stand up and
watch the
learn how to
CDC.
be the press? We
For
can't get
every
him
time you
on any
interrupt Blow
press.
J, I will give you 10 seconds.
We
Blow J, go
you
ahead.
know we in fact we've had town halls. So maybe that's another thing that we've had town halls in Philadelphia where Mr. Weir was asked questions by people in the audience. So we've done many other things, and like I said, it's a learning curve. So maybe you want to learn more from the CDC and improve on
In
your
your last 10
organizing.
seconds, how do you think the day in the convention? What do you think about the convention?
Well, I mean, I didn't pay much attention to that convention. I just thought it's always a good thing for a political party to organize and attract other people to participate in decision making. But I did not think that that would have gained attraction in a way that it ought to be. So I did not pay attention to the process itself.
Thank you very much. Mr. John Winkin, you have a minute and 15 seconds.
Okay, I think that one thing I have to say about the response of Mr. Cummings, it doesn't matter how many times people ask you the same question. Here in the United States, they say if you're scared of smoke, you don't go in the kitchen. Once you are contesting, especially as the president of the country, people can ask questions whether you said it before or not. Some people want to make sure they want to speak to the person to see what he or she will say. I think that's why those who are asking frequently That's why they're making that kind of question. I mean, asking him the kind of question to hear from his own mouth. Maybe what he was told. But that was also a test to see how because if you are president, there are a lot of things that will be said about you that will not be true. But it depends on how you handle that. So I think those who contesting for the presidency, they should be aware that they are answerable to all Liberians, regardless whether they have answered the question or not. With respect to the convention itself, well, I watched some of it, not all of that, but I think it was okay. It is always better for our leaders to engage the citizen they want to lead. So that was good.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Winkin Weir, and thank you for staying right on time. Reverend Adi, you have a minute and 15 seconds.
Well, certainly, I think their convention was good. I saw excerpts. I think it was a good turnout, and I listened to a couple of speeches. I think it's fine. That's a healthy democracy where we are allowed to differ on substantive issues. On the issue of the profanity, I was a bit taken aback because I don't think our presidency has lost the civility or dignity in which it embodies as a representation of the moral consciousness and compass of our nation, irrespective of the fact that we have a president who has completely reduced us to a sense of mediocrity. Having said that, I didn't expect Mr. Cummings to use words like our city is effing dirty. This question about the gay business is, BS. But being that as it is, I don't want my president insulting or using profanity because there are children who look at our leaders as model. Having said that, I don't believe that Mr. Cummings is gay, and we should rise above those political, gotcha moments. And I can understand his frustration because, like Mr. Marolo said, in a million and one times, he's answered that question. And people have decontextualized that to score political points that he's gay, but he's not. His answer was clear. You can't take the context and hold on to the fact that he said, I struggle to mean that he's gay. So that's bad. That's what happens in politics.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what happened in politics when you also decontextualize the Honorable Joseph Imaboyta's statement by calling him a parkour. And people run with it. So, this is what happens in politics.
Thank you very much, Reverend.
Don't go in the kitchen.
You have a minute and 15 second, Mr. Boulder. Give us your take.
Well, I think the convention was healthy and helpful for people to get to know who Cummings really is and to interact. The engagement was great. And I personally went to their meet and greet and I shook a hand. And I mean, it's a good thing to get to know your leaders, people who want to lead your nation and so forth. But I think Cummings needs to be a little bit more tough when he comes to this, asking him questions regarding his sexuality and all the kind of stuff. I mean, he shouldn't get emotional about it. I know it's kind of hurtful. People characterizing you in a situation in a way that you don't like. But that's what makes you a leader. Those are the character of a leader. You have to exert some patience and be kind. He's considered to be a kind person I've seen around. He shouldn't be emotional. I know it hurts, but like my brother said, if you can't stand the heat, don't go in the kitchen. People want to get on your skin to see where you are, your level of stress levels is. So, I mean, he's not a gay. I don't think it should be something that you really. If I were him, I mean, you could answer that question differently, But the convention was great, and it's good that we're engaging as Liberians across the country in the diaspora. That's what we need to do, to get to know one another and know our leaders, and we all participate in our democracy. So. I mean, it's a good thing. Liberia is getting somewhere. We haven't been there yet, but we're getting somewhere.
Thank you very much, Reverend Mr. Boulder. Now, let me take you, Bishop Hager, talk to us about the CPP USA convention.
Well, the convention was wonderful. I saw the quality of the remarks they made. I saw the best side of Liberia, why we have different political understanding all Liberia need to move forward. But I appreciated the convention. That's the kind of thing I like to see, leadership I like to see coming on the national scene. It was wonderful. And I was telling you people, I saw a lot of these young men, whatever reason, they were just trying to misbehave. I mean, we need to appreciate our leadership, the quality of the people. This may have answered the question 1,000 times. People keep asking him.
It doesn't matter.
I will make reference to some of our leaders in the past. Liberian people, I don't care. You want to put sense in their head, they will not understand sense until you tell them the way you're supposed to.
You have 10 seconds.
Yeah. I just imagine them asking Charles Taylor that kind of question. You know how Charles Taylor going to answer them. That the only language they understand is to speak at their level. Because the man is not a gay, but they keep saying the men are gay. Gay. It's very
Isn't that what's done in politics, anyways?
No, that's personal. That's personal. It's not national. It's personal.
I will come back to you because we can't count the amount of time.
You should use that to explain it more. You should use that. You should use that to reach more audience.
Let me take. Let me take Mrs. Collins. Go ahead, Mrs. Collins.
Yeah. So
I'm just a moderator.
The convention, was organized. Even though I wasn't present, I didn't go there, but I saw video and I talked to a couple of people, and that's what a leader should do. Should speak to their base. Should meet with the people that they want to lead. So the convention itself was organized and put into place. Now, when it comes to, the question about his sexuality, whether he's gay or not, look, they can ask you 1 million times. Answer it the same way you've been answering it. Just answer it the same way you've been answering it. Don't be mad or, get aggressive and get emotional and start to use profanity. You expected to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia, according to you. Now, if people ask you one question, you're getting irritated by it because they ask you so many times, just answer it. No, if you want to know about yourself, put yourself in politics. Put yourself in politics. You will hear all kinds of things. Some are true, some are not true. So just continue to answer the question the same way you've been answering it. And that's it. Suppose that's the one I want to know about you. That's why I want to know. So if you become a public figure, your life is no more private.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
In many ways.
Thank you very much.
That's my take on that.
Thank you, Mrs. Collins. And I heard you mention that you did not.
The thing is that the same people. The same.
I will come to you. And Mrs. Collins, and those of you watching, if you missed the convention, luckily for you, LRTN was there to stream every single second of it. So you can go back on Library and Television Network page to see the convention, including the meet and greet. So they have it, all of that. They have it on the page. We have it there for y'all. So you can go ahead and rewatch the entire program. But let me take Mr. Mawolo. Then I will come to you, Bishop Hika. Mr. Mawolo.
Listen, for those who saying that he's supposed to answer it calmly. Listen, this man has answered it calmly 1 million times. There is no other presidential candidate who has been exposed to the press more than Alexander Cummings. There is no radio or TV station in Liberia or anywhere else that he hasn't presented himself and that question has come out. The whole thing is that it was a propaganda thing that 99.9% of the people didn't even hear the original conversation, but they took the gay business because it pleases their political agenda. Fine. This man has answered this question 1,000,001 times. Now, if you went in front of the press, that's why most of these presidential candidates are afraid to go to the press. He has boldly and answered it politely. But if you go before the press and the man leaves all the national issue and can't ask you, oh, but they say you wife that prostitute, and you say, oh man, who said that? And then the next you go to the next, oh, they say you wife that prostitute. You're not going to be tolerating that for too long
Well,
because it's not that they don't know.
let me
It's
ask
not
you
that
a
they
question.
don't know.
Let me
It's
ask you.
because they want to be insulting. And you will understand that 99.1% of the time, the people who ask that question are not interested in knowing. They are interested in
Thank
being
you, Mr.
insulted.
Maulo. Let me ask you a question. Just answer it very briefly. Will you condemn Elisana comments for using profanity?
No, he didn't use
All right, now,
profanity, he used the language that we speak in Liberia. He
so
just
you
spoke
actually,
the
you act,
regular man language. He was not insulting anybody.
so if George Weah would have used those language,
But George Weah
would you
use
have
it
said
all
the
the
same thing?
time.
Yeah, I can remember you condemning him on that.
For what? Me? I
You
condemn George
never,
Weah for speaking? No,
you.
I condemn
Now,
him for not
me
speaking
let me
properly.
take you let me take you Bishop Hagar. Let me take you Bishop Hagar because I don't want to push this. We have a whole convention to talk about in the fundraiser. I want for us to get back to that. But let me take you Bishop Hagar. You had a rebuttal.
You know, it is very sad in Liberia that when people ready to lie on you, they lie and lie. This man been married for over 40 years. The records are there. Everything there. The man have explained it. I'm not a supporter of Alexander Cummings, but when it comes to the gay thing, the man have said it over and over. Even if you go and say before Jesus, the people will still won't ask you that stupid question. You gotta answer them in their own language. I don't have no problem telling them. For me, I support you on that one because the people will not understand. Period.
I believe you have a thank you. I believe you have a rebuttal, Mr. Weir.
Well, as I said, if you're scared of smoke, you don't go in the kitchen. One thing that is good for Mr. Comey is that the audience here that he was speaking to, that I think many people that haven't heard his respond were listening that time. So it was another opportunity because not many people listen to you when you appear on the radio or talk to press. Everybody has their choice or preference of what to watch. So my suggestion is that especially in this time of the election, people will look for something to bring you down. So there is a way, in order to reach new audience, you have to try to answer the question as it is being posed. That's all I'm saying. You should not be angry. What I answer several times. Well, many people may have maybe Blow J to me. Then I have the opening of the means to come in and say, I don't believe Blow J. So I can ask him myself to make sure I want to hear for himself,
Thank you,
not for
thank
any
you,
other person.
thank you, Mr. Weir. Lojo, let me come to you and ask you. One, would you condemn Alexander Cummings for using profanity? And also, during the convention, the vice standard bearer, Charlene Bransky, we shouldn't forget to talk about that. She made a statement. She said, no one in Liberia can intimidate or intellectually accept her standard bearer, Ellis Cummings. What do you make of that statement? And would you condemn Ellis Cummings on his use of profanity?
Well, I'm not subjective. I'm not in the mind of the vice senator of the of Mr. Cummings. I can't challenge her personal or emotional strength. If she says she's not going to be intimidated by anybody, I can't say she will be intimidated. I mean, she knows herself best. So I want to leave that to her. And for comments, I did not listen to the comments. Comment listen to specific statement. But I don't see it offensive. Uh, and sometimes in a political terrain, when you have to fend off some irrational commentary, sometimes I want to agree with Bishop Hagar here. You have to speak a language that will be most effective and resonate with people better, that everybody can clearly understand. And so it goes to the point that some of the comments even the president has made in the past, the president said, oh, I'm gonna man, or at this people go offended and say, why is the president making kind of commentary? Sometimes you have to speak the language of the ordinary people something that they understand and know and can better get that message. And I think that's one of the problems the ANC have had in the past. They
10
always
seconds.
speak
Yeah.
a sophomore. They all been speaking. Mr. Comey has always been speaking like a sophomore student. Hopefully this time he spoke like a high school student.
Thank you very much. And Reverend Adi, let me ask you, take you last on this. You stated you were disappointed in Cummings' use of profanity. What do you think of Mr. Marwolo not condemning Cummings' use of profanity, and would you condemn Cummings as well?
Well, I certainly will not expect Mr. Mawolo to condemn his candidate. So I think that was an obvious question of no. I've stated clearly that the presidency still has dignity, and those vying for those offices must be able to recognize the dignity of the office. Like it was widely stated, Mr. Cummings will be asked about his personal life. There are many other ways he could have answered those questions without being profane. Maybe he thought because he was on a football field, so the people who were there are any people of his status, but I doubt it. I don't think that is thought. So he could have answered in a very civil manner, whether it's a million times, and be able to know that as a public figure, whether or not he's answered a million times, people may have heard it and needed direct clarification. So you answer the question with civility and not be that emotional, to go about and use profanity. I don't think that's the nature of our presidency. Now, it's been a million one times when they've said several negative things about Mr. Boyka, the ambassador, and he responded to them, not with profanity.
You don't go to the press, so
Go ahead, Mr. Mawolo. I was going to come to you. I was going to come to you next, and give us a rebuttal.
Mr. Boyka had a town hall bigger than Mr. Cummings, and he took questions from everybody. Go ask Monique Sheen.
At town hall where he was programmed, somebody was telling him how to answer the question. He wasn't speaking on his own.
I would say that is not true.
How?
The rabbi is available.
I was right there, okay? I was there.
The rabbi is available. The rabbi is available. He was being coached.
Let's save the Unity Party.
He was being coached live. They had Marvel available. LRT has the video.
Congress for deception. Congress. The
video is available. He was being coached.
Oh, you haven't asked Mr. Collins yet, though.
She gave an opening.
Mr. Cummings needs to answer the question again. Ask him one minute at a time. Maybe
we will get. Yeah,
let me get one correction to what you said, Derek. She didn't say there was nobody in Liberia who could challenge her. She said she haven't met anybody to challenge her intellectually until she met Mr. Cummings. That's what she said.
I stand corrected. Go ahead. Mr. Mawolo, I have my question for you. Now let's stay on the convention, and you'll be the last on this because we have exhausted the time for this discussion. Talk to us about the fundraiser. Do you know how much was raised? And Reverend Adi
they haven't put
and also the turnout though. The turnout. How do you think the turnout was?
The turnout was expected. It was good. They haven't. This convention took about a month to plan. It took about a month. It was actually supposed to be the end of July, but we had to bring it up because Mr. Cummings is only here in June, so we had to bring it up to meet his schedule. So it took a very short time to plan. So it was very, very successful as far as time. But the total amount hasn't been announced. I mean, hasn't been given to us yet. But I'm sure before the weekend we will know.
Alrighty, thank you. Thank you so
quickly,
much.
Talking about fundraiser, quickly talking about fundraiser. I think it just spread a very important thing that also happened in Liberia over the weekend or something, with the Unity Party having an elite or birthday party.
Loje, I will have to interrupt you because that is exactly our next discussion. But guys, thank you so much for your contribution. And if you're watching us, we are talking about the CPP USA convention. If you didn't get the chance to watch it on our page,
Mr.
or if
Moderator,
you're in it, and then
Mr.
please go
Moderator,
on the page and
can
rewatch
you
the
tell
live
your
stream.
brother to bring a job here for town hall? I want to
We
visit
that
for
is
that
not
town
that is
hall.
not
If possible.
guys. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into
We are
it.
tired of having town hall, man. We're not having a town hall.
When
When
we
you
come
ever
back,
had town
we'll
hall?
get on the
No, we
When
want
you
rescue
to
ever
train.
had
debate
town hall?
We will come.
LRT
That
and
former
all
president,
the other
Guys,
journalists. We need to organize a
when you ever
debate,
had I want you to come and
full
visit.
debate
Let
for
him
the
have town hall
presidential
here.
candidates
I'm waiting
in
for
the
him.
four
Ain't got time
ends
until he
of the
get here.
country, north, south, east, and west. One debate on every side. Let them have a debate.
We are building roads now. We are building roads and hospitals and schools. We don't have time for clinic for
Ain't
talk
got nothing
shop.
to do with that. That is saying loud. They said the last time he didn't promise nothing, and all he has
Guys,
done since he got there
we got to
is
go,
to
Mr.
steal.
Marlowe. We got to go on break. We got to end this
We don't
stream,
have
Mr.
time
Marlowe.
for talk festival. We're building
Let's
roads.
take a break.
Yeah, but you haven't done
When we
nothing
come
either.
back, we will get on the rescue train, Mr. Anderson.
All you doing is stolen. That's all. You still stealing.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us. You're still here watching episode 12, season 3 of the Hard Zone, and we are going to jump right on the rescue train. Before I get into our next discussion, actually, let me ask you please to share the program on your social media page on Facebook, the Liberia Radio and Television Network, and YouTube as well. And also leave us your feedback and your comments on the discussion in the comment section, and we'll make sure to highlight them throughout the show. Now, for our next discussion, we will get on the rescue train, Unity Party. The rescue train to tour Margibi, Bonk, and Nima County between July 6th to 8th. So the rescue train will be in Margibi County, Bonk County, and Nima County. So, and also we saw the official campaign team announced at Senator Kanga's birthday celebration. So let me have our panelists on the screen so we can talk everything that has to do with the Unity Party, the rescue train, expected to tour Mikey B, Bong, and Nima County, Senator Kanga birthday celebration, the fundraiser, and official campaign team announcement. So let me begin with you, Reverend Adi, on this one. Senator Yobli Kanga announced as the national campaign chair for the rescue train. And also talk to us about your tour in Magibbi, Bond County, and Nima County from now to the 8th of July. Give us a tip on the Unity Party activities.
Well, I'm certainly very, very excited about this tour, and those counties are highly in expectations of the next president of Liberia. So we're not surprised. We've certainly debunked the misrepresentation that Ambassador Puega will not be able to campaign among other places. But here we are. We've put out a campaign schedule, and certainly people will be worried because Banga, Bong, Makibi, and especially Nima County, folks will be waiting to see the rescue 1 and 2. Liberia must be rescued before you think about fixing it. We're excited.
Thank you. Talk to us about the campaign team. What do you make of the list? Senator Kanga.
Well, I think
Taking,
I think it's a very capable team in individuals who are on the ground, who have in-depth knowledge of the politics and the expectations of the Liberian people. That team demonstrates that these people are connected with the people on the ground, and they're willing to give us a Liberia that we can all dream of with that team. As Joseph Boyka becomes the next president of Liberia. So we are looking to go throughout the length and breadth of Liberia, and no better team could have been chosen but that team currently in place.
Thank you very much, Bishop Haggard. Welcome back. Now let me get you on this discussion, the Unity Party, the rescue train to be in my Gibby Bunk and Nimba, and also Senator Kanga birthday celebration, which will announce as the campaign cheer, and also rescue anti opposition. But talk to us on the Unity Party activities.
Well, listen to me. Let me just inform you that Senator Yomli Kanga is the people's senator. You saw her going down to all the villages and even sleeping in the villages. I was so touched. My love for this woman was so great that she went around my own town. Number three, spoke with those people, lie down with them. Those people are heavily in love. I can promise you, Buchanan, Grand Bassa County is already locked down for the Unity Party. Nobody can make any impact in that place. Look, this election is going to be one round. Ambassador Joseph Borgham, after October 10th, the next president of the Republic of Liberia. I mean, with all their propaganda, he say he can't walk. I don't know what they're going to say again when they see this dynamic ambassador moving to all the villages to give the message of rescue to the Liberian people. George Weah, he already get fever. He went to Israel to pray, right? He need more prayers because nothing can save you. I just heard from God that God said days are numbered and it's over for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Hagan. Let me take you, Mrs. Collins. Talk to us about Unity Party. You just heard from the bishop. It's a first round victory for Rescue 1 and 2. So give us your take on their recent activities, the rescue train in Bong, Nima, and my give you content. And also on Senator Kanga birthday celebration. Talk to us. Mrs. Collins, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Well, the United Party, I think they're on the right track. There could have been a better, people choosing to lead this team, and I think they're rolling it right. This is the time? This is the right time. This is the right movement, and they should capture the movement, and keep the ball rolling so that at the end of the day, we can have our next president for the Republic of Liberia. And also, you see her birthday, to roll the team out also is a good thing because it gave her more energy and it gave the group more momentum to keep the ball rolling. So I think they're on the right track.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Collins. We have one more Unity Party people to go. Mr. Boda, talk to us about the rest. I'm just joking.
Well, look, I think it's important that the Unity Party is about to kick up their campaign, and that is a great thing. And what happened here is that it's just going to tell the Liberian people, are you better now than before? The Liberian people are going to answer those questions, and that's why the Unity Party is going to present herself doing it. So the Omer Buckeye has a plan to rebuild Liberia, foster a better leadership, and that is important. We know the CDC-led government has done their part of work that failed the Liberian people. Or the promises they made to come in and change politics in Liberia, they have done that part. So it's a season. That season is over. So we're moving to a new era, and that new era is to usher in a new leadership come 2024. So we know Mr. Boga is going to head that team, and he's going to lead Liberia in that direction. So there's no doubt on of the CDC, the policy of Unity Party that Omen Bogai, that people are resolved to give it
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Now you still have about 15 seconds. So do you agree with Mr. or Bishop Higa that this election will be a one round victory for Unity Party?
Well, yeah, it's possible.
You hesitated, so I'm going to move on to the
I
next one.
mean, that's election. You can't be 100%.
All right, but let me take Mr. We are now that you gave us the nice ride on the rescue train. You're about to start being here with some missiles. So, Mr. We are talk to us. What do you think about the Unity Party activities? You're on mute, Mr. We are. You're muted.
The old man spirit catch you, man.
No, it's not with me. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay. So it is good for for Vice President Boakai to reach the people of Liberia. Instead of assuming that because of what people say about him, he's going to win the elections. Because it is important for a Liberian people to see you if you want to be their leader. He needs to redefine himself because he has been in government for a long time. He needs to explain how is he going to be different from the previous government he has served in. What went wrong when he was there, and what is he going to do now as the president? Because he wasn't a leader then; he was serving in government, following the instructions of the president. So he needs to do that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Weah. Go to Choppy Charlie. Let me take you next.
Oh well, we've seen the CDC organize a primary with over 98,000 persons participating across the country. That informed us of the CDC strategic organizing capability to engineer a victory in these elections. When contrast with what was announced at the elite birthday bash campaign team of Unity Party, people who have exhibited no tenets of democracy. And let me correct my friend added that it was not anybody who said that Baga was unable to campaign. It was Yomi Kanga, the chairperson of Baga campaign team, and his corner two, Jeremiah Kong, who said that Baga should not campaign. He was unable to campaign. He should sit down, and they would do the campaigning for him. They made those commentary. But we can see clearly that the characteristics, the character of those who comprises the campaign team of Joseph Boakai has already shown us their cunning, scheming behavior by having a birthday bash where ordinary people were denied of attending. And you have to pay to play. You have to pay to attend a birthday. This is the nature of the Unity Party, pay to play. The same way with the primaries. And interesting it, Waka, from what we've learning, is also depending on drug money to finance his campaign. I mean, this is very serious because, let me just end. Right at the back of Braga House is a drug club. His son manages that club. He's a co-owner of that club. They sell drugs in that club. They give young people alcohol, and that's one of the places I've been getting that money. And that is a question. It has to be raised concern. Why would his vice president be doing such a thing? He's using that to finance campaign in the country.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lord. I will come to you. I will come back to you, Mr. Mega, if you have a
Baba is a co-owner of that ghetto right at the back of his house. It's a ghetto.
I will come back to you guys for
that ghetto. They give drug to young children over there, and alcohol and all kinds of stuff.
Bishop Hager. Your president has don't make me to Bishop Hager. We will come back. I will come to you for a rebuttal. But let me take Mr.
Bishop Hager, you were standing too low, but they will come back to you again that rebuttal.
I will give you the opportunity to respond. Let me take Mr. Maolo first.
The Bishop had to fire up.
Let me take Mr. Maolo first. Go ahead, Mr. Maolo.
They got a saying, they say when the roach ready to die, always looking for a red oil bottle to fall down into. You can't get rotting right. But Unity Party thinks somebody stupid here. They're looking for all the places that only got paved road, that where they are nothing the tour. All the places so they got don't have to go on the rough road. He go to the pay, bro, sir. Listen, well, nobody's stupid here. He will get to the harrow. He gonna go to the places where the people are. Okay, so uh, as far as the campaign, it's amazing that a young dude like Addy will be glorifying a team that don't have anybody that represent him or his age group. The youngest person on the team is 47, that the youth. And the 47-year-old man is the youth on the team. In a country that got 65% of the population less than 35 or less. And the youngest person on the team now 47. And they want somebody to be convinced that these people understand the political engineering of Liberia. They already
How do you
discriminated against
take
you,
this?
and you glorifying it. Then no religious representation.
15 seconds.
No religious
Right.
representation. And then is Yombly trying to tell me that they got no decent hotel in Basel for her to have her birthday party? That her county that she represents, she couldn't patronize them economically.
Thank
She
you.
bring it to
Thank you.
Mangibi County to patronize.
Thank you very
Please.
much, Mr. Marwood. Now, let me take you, Bishop Hager, first for your rebuttal. You can also
No, the
respond to
rebuttal,
Mr. You can also respond to Mr.
Logie
Marlo.
made a serious allegation tonight. And if he doesn't come back to ask for excuse
No
or
threat
to
here tonight.
withdraw his statement, he's going to really meet the consequences. I want to
Huh?
inform Logie that they should go to the Jamaica resort where every day cocaine is being smoked there and let
Can
them
you
do
prove
drug
that?
tests for his
Can you
whole
prove that
cabinet
allegation?
because they are all smoker of drugs.
You
It's
don't
You're
have
saying
to
now on this
manage
net.
to
Mr.
school, so
Baga.
leave the man lane talk.
No, I'm just asking the question. He asking what he asking Bloje to do because he said he accusing Bloje of saying it on this network. So can you prove the allegation?
Then neutral last now two and then I say something about each other. So when I go to court.
But Blackout is public knowledge. There is a ghetto right there. People goes there, they drink, they take drugs. That's public knowledge. It's right by his house. It's no dispute.
We are concluding
He
now.
has been there for years. There is no evidence of people doing drug at Jamaica. I was just at Jamaica. There is no evidence. That's false. It doesn't happen. But Waka is clear evidence. It's public knowledge. Go there tonight. You will see people drinking, smoking, and getting all the drugs right now at this moment we speak. It's
So
clear.
then why
He
you
has been there
government
for
don't go
Why,
years.
arrest
why
them?
are
So then
you,
what's the government?
And
Let
Baka,
him
who
read it,
claim to
please.
have more,
why the
who is
government
claimed to be a
have
wise man, has
no,
not shut that place down.
you,
That
you,
Yeah,
place,
but why
that
your
place
government
is one of
haven't
the drug
arrested the
So
outlet
what
in
the
happened? The
young
Liberia.
people?
government is the
That's
anti-drugs,
a you know,
the
Bishop
anti-drugs
Hager.
unit
That's
will
so.
track it down.
And
No,
Baka has
let
failed to exercise moral leadership by shutting that place. His son manages that place. I mean,
but what,
I mean, people are criticizing George Weah's son team,
listen,
but at least team
listen,
is playing sports and making people happy. But yes, a Braga's son is giving people drug and alcohol, especially young
Why
children.
they say the government
okay,
have not tracked it down?
what the
And the
government have
hypocrites
not,
of the Unity Party have now spoken out against this behavior. No, the government has to shut it down, but we're talking about Joseph Braga as a leader, somebody who claiming to be a wise and moral leader. Why he has
what
not
he's
shut this
talking
place down that he is
is to
benefiting
say
from.
the least,
It's right by his house. He was
to say
vice
the
president
least.
when
Bloje,
that place was built.
Bloje, I think you've made your point. Let me come back to you, Bishop Hager. I don't know if you still want to respond to Bloje, but I would like for you to respond
Listen,
to Mr.
let go ahead, man. I
I
mean,
want you
right
to respond
now,
to Mr. Marwolo. When
the government, let me
Bishop
say,
Hager, let me finish my
400,000
question.
of our young people are on
You've had
drugs.
an attack CDC
What
governor. I want
policy
you to
has the
But Braga is part
government
of it because he's been
implemented?
feuding this drug.
Hold on,
The drug,
Bishop
his hub
Hager,
is by his house. Braga
hold
should be
on,
here.
Bishop
hold
Hager,
Braga
on,
is
hold
part of this
on,
thing.
hold
Why are
on,
you not
hold on,
criticizing
hold on,
Braga? When his son
Bishop
is,
Hager.
hold on,
we
hold on.
have a drug house.
I don't want for us to do this thing where Unity Party people get back on attacking the government. Bishop Hager, can you
No,
respond
Listen,
but these are
to
facts.
Mr.
I'm not disputing. This is a
Bishop
public fact. It's there.
Bishop Hager, did you see your campaign the rescue train campaign team list? Did you see that list? I want you to respond to Mr. Marwolo when he mentioned that there is no youthful or religious representation. Can you speak to that?
Listen to me. The best campaign team was announced. That is the winning team.
The youngest
Every
person is
political
46,
party.
47 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Listen to me. Every political party has their strategy. The Unity Party have announced the winning team, and just wait. You see the number of youthful people behind the party. They talk about why, because you know for 10-year-old or 15-year-old is not there. That means it's not youth. Look on at the grassroots. We get thousands of young people who are supporting the party.
So they are just supporters, really, don't participate.
The youth are already in the party. They are already our main voter.
But as the MO of Unity Party, always use people. You saw Yomi Kanga Party, only elite went there.
Okay,
I
will come back to you after I take.
Roger say you get 98,000 people that took part in the primary.
Listen, Bishop Hager, we got to stick to the 30 seconds.
How many votes you will get?
We have to stick to the 30. We have to stick. Bishop Hager, we have to stick to the 30 seconds, guys. Let's do 30 seconds. We have very few minutes left for this discussion. Mr.
You said 30 seconds? All the allegation I can work out that me giving 30 seconds?
No, you know, let me take
but I equal time. You can get more time than other people.
You better be fair.
You can get more time than other people.
I'm trying to be fair.
2 million, 1 million.
But we have to end this conversation at some point in time.
We got to do guys.
Yeah, no. Oh man, I beg you, man. That'd be fair. This is the last session. Yeah.
How about we do this? If Mr. Weah and Mr. Boda can permit me to give
Can you that? Will you
Are you Matata? Are you Matata?
You want to give your time to?
Are you Matata, Ali?
So that 3 minutes.
Is that true for you too, Mr. Weah? You have time to.
Thank you.
Yes.
No. I don't use my time. I gotta talk about my man, so I don't use my time.
Sorry, let's take
Thank you kindly.
Go ahead.
So the last time I checked, it was President George Weah in 2010 who was found with a drug lord, Mr. Besman. He was arrested by the federal authorities, and he had blatantly denied the fact that he has any engagement with drug activities in the state of Maryland. President George Weah always associating with people in criminal activity. The last time I checked, it was under President George Weah's administration that the FBI confiscated 140 million worth of drugs. The last time I checked, it is under President George Weah's government that they allowed these people to abscond justice. And you want to talk about ghettos? The last time I checked, the European Union gave Liberia $2 million to help the children in Liberia who are on drugs. Soga Wilson said that money has yet to be refunded because they have eaten it. The last time I checked, the proliferation of ghettos to 866 is under this administration leadership. The last time I checked, Lo J, was your government who, after 5.5 years, just stated that it would come up with a plan, a 60-day plan to help those children who are victimized by drugs. The last time I checked, the current guy who is at Freeport now, Sam Doe, left the United States because of corrupt activities. The president just appointed him. So the issue of drug business has no correlation with the Honorable Joseph Boyka. Your president and your administration happens to be the greatest international icon of this space when it comes to money laundering and drug trafficking. We have no regard, no respect. So the truth is clear. The difference is very clear. Mr. Boyka has in no relationship with drugs and alcohol compared to your president who specializes in Hennessy and parties. So make no mistake, Liberians aren't stupid. They know the truth. Come 2010. Come October 10th. Thank you.
You got to be specific about the Hennessy, that the XO.
Okay, so I think it's about fair since I was mentioned to respond.
My man, I beg
you. No. I mean, you mentioned me, so it should be fair.
You already spoke, and I made my point.
No, because
don't allow the matter to come by.
Because you offer a lady of misinformation and falsehood. Everything you say are complete false.
Well,
so and I was mentioned. I think I deserve a chance to respond.
No,
Everything
Jay.
was
No, no, no,
paused.
no, 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 no.
Argument
Omen,
allegedly
Omen, no,
was
no, no.
that
You
drugs were
spoke
found
and
in
you
the
The
attacked
FBI, the
Hawkins. I'm here to
FBI, the
defend it.
FBI, the FBI.
You
This is
just
not the
come
first
back.
time the FBI has pointed to drug deal in Liberia. Uno, Joseph Bagan, who was vice president,
Why your
drug.
administration allowed the
The
drug law to
FBI
escape after it happened to
arrested
people?
drug dealer in Liberia with the same amount of cocaine.
Why your
They were
administration
never
Is
allowed
prosecuted.
the
that
At
drug law to
competition?
least
escape?
this time,
Is
Uno
that
George,
competition? Who was
those
really
people
It's a
went to
arrested?
court.
kangaroo court.
Those people went to court.
Why answer
Uno,
the
your
question,
government,
Mr.
when Joseph Bagan was vice president, they never went to
Mahotame?
court. They was
Loj,
released.
why
So,
your government
George, we have
made a
prosecuted drugs
mockery?
dealer. You never prosecuted drugs dealer.
114,
Doing
never
your
in the history of
doing
Liberia
your
we ever had a
presidency,
drug bust of
doing your
$114
presidency,
million.
doing your
Under this
presidency,
president, we
drug
have
was
push.
found in the presidential
What is
motorcade.
push? What is push?
No drug has been found
Your
in Mr.
government
We are
today got our
in
young
a
boys
vice
and
president
girls using
motorcade.
push.
The
Your
records are
government
there.
today is
Oh,
financing
your
tournaments
government,
between
the,
ghettos.
the
Is
drug
that it?
house
Is that
was
your
built
solution?
right side the vice
Reverend
president house.
Is that,
His
Mr.
son.
Moderator, fellow panelists, is
So
that
there is no
Liberia's
evidence.
solution
Everything he
to
says is
play
false.
tournaments?
No, Job
To
Italian and
play
Reverend Ali.
tournaments
Yeah,
in
everything he says is
166
false.
ghettos.
Under your
And
government,
yet
the
Baba say
FBI
the
elected
sanctions and we're
Liberia
happy about
government
that.
Guys,
to the same quantity of drug, and those drug dealers were
yeah,
arrested in Liberia and
Well,
never
man, the
prosecuted
last
and
time I checked,
disappeared.
though, the last time
At
I
least
checked,
on
the last
George,
time
we
I
had
checked,
drug dealer went to
last time
jail.
I checked, your government got 3 officials under sanction
thank
for
you,
unscrupulous activity.
Lord Job Italian, Reverend Ali. Thank you guys for your
Yeah, let's close
contribution.
up. Let's close up.
Now, before we've exhausted the time for the discussion, but we have 1 more minute left to hear Mr. Ja winking out. So, Mr. Weah, give us talk to us, and then we will draw the
Okay,
curtain to this discussion, please.
okay, fellow Liberians, you have listened to the supporters of President Weah and Councillor Joseph Walker. That shows that our country is rotten with bad things. So we need someone to clean what is going on in Liberia. Drugs, corruption. There is only one guy who can do that. And this Saturday, that guy will be presenting to you his vice presidential running mate. You know, we need somebody with no drama, with no bad record. Somebody that will give you the opportunity to really remake Liberia, to have your own time, to have your own chance to do something. Somebody that you look up to build yourself, to bring out what God made you for. And that person is Tiawan say Gonglo. So you heard all the noise. Tiawan Gonglo, no noise. Tiawan Gonglo and Dr. Emmanuel Yagbawo are the best
But they're not
for
all his name.
Liberia.
You got to call it full name.
Emmanuel Yure Yagbawo.
Thank you.
Emmanuel Yure Yagbawo.
Thank you,
All the noise you
Mr.
listen to, you will never hear noise about
No noise on that. No
no
noise on that
noise,
team.
no wahala, nothing. They
As,
are the true clean people that
as
are Liberia clean.
you heard it, Mr. Weah. Mr. Weah, thank you so much for your contribution. And guys, if you're watching us, this is it for the scope of our discussion. We will on board. We will get off the rescue train, take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll bring you our icebreaker round and our closing remark from our panelists. But let's do a break first.
At Fatu's, we know what it's like to feel a little homesick. That's why we work hard to bring you the very best and freshest imported foods and supplies from home. With quality design African cloths, beauty supplies, and tasty African food items, you'll feel right at home. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Fatu's African International Market for all of your household and family needs. See you soon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a really great night on the Hard Zone tonight. We've been having some enlightening conversations surrounding politics in Liberia, and we've come to the icebreaker round of of this show, episode 12, season 3 of the Hard Zone. So we will bring you the icebreaker round, and after we will ask our panelists to give us their closing remark on this episode. But before I do that, let me say thank you so much for staying with us this far and throughout season 3, and also please share the program. Follow the network. The network to follow is LRTN, or Liberia Radio and Television Network, on Facebook and YouTube. So let me have the panelists back on the screen, and I will give you the icebreaker question we have here. It's a political season. Campaign season is soon to start. Election is less than 100 days away. So the icebreaker question we have is: give us one question you would like to hear each candidate answer. One question. So I'm going to allot 30 seconds. So it's just one question that you will like to hear each candidate answer. So just pick a candidate and one
Can I do a
question.
question quick because my brother trying to go over?
Yeah, let me take you first. Upload the topic, Charlie.
All right, my one question would be to Joseph Boaka. Why has he allowed his son to have a truck house right by his house, even when he was vice president? That
Thank
was
you
my
very much.
question.
Thank you very much, Lord topic, Charlie. Can your battery last till we get to your closing remark after the panelists give their one
Yeah,
question?
stay on. So,
Okay, all
I
right.
get one.
Mr. Maulo,
I get one question.
let me take you next, Bishop Vega.
How do you coming to me because I want to ask direction to that main question?
Bishop Higa, can you speak louder
Yeah,
so we
there
can
is
hear
no
you?
listen, there is no rebuttal on the icebreaker round, so you're not about to respond to Flo J. Just give us your one question and tell us the candidate.
Mm.
What we are before you became president, why is that you refuse to declare your asset and you have stole all the Liberian people money without declaring your asset?
Thank you very much, Mr. Boulder. Give us your question.
Well, but one question I ask Mr. Weir would be what different can you make that we haven't seen in 5 years?
Thank you, Mr. Boulder. Mr. Jawinkin Weir.
My question to all the candidates: which of you is willing to end the patronage governance system in Liberia?
Thank you, Mr. Weir. Let's take you now, Reverend Adi.
My question I'll ask the President George Weah is, Mr. President, in light of the abject poverty in Liberia, your purple agenda was intended to help Liberian people. In your first 6 months of your presidency, why you only focus on yourself by building 48 houses, knowing how suffering our people are?
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi. Mr. Mawolo, what will be your question?
Well, my question would be to George Weah and Joseph Walker. Looking at the economic situation in the country, both of your parties are totally responsible for the plight that our people face. What new ideas do you have to fix this economy where it works for our people? Because it seems like all your ideas haven't worked.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mawolo. Now, Lord Jochopi Charlie, let me take you first and before I say that, before I come to you, let me say thank you guys so much for your contribution on the icebreaker round. Now, Lord Jochopi Charlie, give us your closing remark on this episode.
well, I only want to say thanks again to
Continue,
everybody
please.
for watching. Yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. And we have a spirited discussion tonight. We hope to continue these type of discussions. And we want to encourage all Liberians to vote not based on lies, deception, and propaganda, but based on reality. Since George Weah came to power, if you check the results of WIOD, most students have passed in the exams. There have been more Liberians connected with electricity, plus electricity is cheaper now than in the past.
How are those things
There has
supposed to be
been
normal in a country, man? That's
there have been more
unfortunate.
roads. It did not happen in the past. There are more roads now built where no roads existed in the country. There are more hospitals built where no hospital existed in the country. There are more housing units built for ordinary people where no housing unit existed in the country. And there are many more things that this president and this government has done. We want to continue doing more of those things. Let's vote George Weah, and I'm convinced George Weah is going to win these elections and be elected for the next 6 years.
Thank you, Lord Jochopi Charlie. I don't know if you're going to stay with us throughout this or
Yeah,
closing
I'm still
remarks.
hanging on. If it goes off, it goes off.
Okay. All right, but if it goes up, just so you know, thank you so much for your
My closing
participation
remark.
on season 3. Bishop Hagan,
My
give us your
closing
closing remark.
remark.
Mhm.
Liberian people, My people in Grand Bassa, in Margibi, in Nima, in Maryland, in Lofa, in Kidman, I mean all over Liberia. Look at your life today. From 2017, even though we have difficulty with Ebola, we have issues that came up, but look at your life today. Look at your children today. Look where you are. Do you think your life has getting better? Your life has never better, it have gotten worse. Where Joe Weir and his bunch of criminals reach themselves massively. Everything they are doing over there is resource allocated for you people, but they are diverted. Don't be for the road they are building. That road
10
they took the
seconds.
money from the development fund that's supposed to come to you people. Please vote wisely and vote for Ambassador Joseph Boakai. He had the experience. You want Ellen Johnson selling herself. Joseph Boakai is the most qualified, experienced person to lead this country. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bishop Hagar, and thank you for your contribution tonight. Now, let me take you, Mr. Mawolo. Give us your closing remark.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being a part of this broadcast, for all the different episodes that we've done. I want to say thank you, and we appreciate your presence. To the brothers and sisters here on the panel, I want to say it was a pleasure participating with you all, and I hope we were able to learn from each other. But what I must admonish all of us, that this issue of Liberia is not a joke. It's not about who win. It's not just about winning. Our people are in dire strait. Our people lives need to change. What is happening in Liberia is not acceptable. It is not how human beings should live. If we want to play as a game and lie and cheat and con people to
10
get their
seconds.
vote, then we got no business here. For me, the Liberia issue is personal. And I don't lie about it. I'll tell you the truth. We need somebody who knows what to do and how to do it.
Thank
And I
you.
can guarantee you that Alexander Cummings and Charlene Brown-Skin are your hope for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. We are now. Let me take you next.
Okay. Thank you, my fellow panelists, for the episode that we have all participated in. Now, listeners at home, fellow Liberians, decisions determine your future, and you have only one time after every 6 years. October 10, 2023 is another chance for you to decide your destiny, your future, what you hope for yourself. We make all the noise here because we love Liberia. Whoever wins, we will support him as Liberians. But it is very critical for you to think
10
through
seconds.
that doing what you have been doing for the past has never worked. This time around, look beyond the obvious. You have a chance to choose somebody who is new, who have not been at the head of government at all, who believe in law. That person is Tiawonse Gonglo. Saturday, he will be presenting to you his running mate, Dr. Emmanuel Yure Wolokali. No, Yabawolo.
Jack Paolo.
So you guys listening to me, vote for Gonglo and his running mate
Thank you.
for you for better future.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. We are. Thank you for your contribution as always. And let me take you, Reverend Addy. Give us your closing remark.
My fellow Liberians, especially my CDC brothers and sisters, the poor agenda has not been working for you. What has been consistent as a vision for your life is gathering you at the headquarters to shout muya muya, muya muya. But muya muya has not given you jobs. You are at the place 24/7, begging for the crumbs that they have stolen. To the Zogos, quote unquote, where is your $2 million that was given to you by the EU, by this government? The Minister of Sports, Mr. Zuga Wilson, has spoken, and he said the government has eaten your money because he has not received a dime. To the market women, are you comfortable your products are not being bought even though you stay all day in the market, but people don't have money? To the civil servants, 70,000 of you, are you happy taking pay 3 full months interval simply because you love your country? What have you done to deserve that? To the students, you like to believe that you've been educated, but it's stop. You deserve better. To our teachers, I thank you for the sacrifices, but you don't have to break chalks to teach our students. Rescue is on its way. Join the train in the person of Joseph Human Boyka. To our medical doctors, thank you for all you do. Our help is on the way. God willing, it shall be well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Adi, and thank you for your contribution as well. Now, let me take you, Mr. Boda. Give us your closing remark.
Thank you, Derek. My fellow panelists, I want to say thank you. It's a pleasure sharing some time and knowledge with all of you. And I just want to talk to our Liberian people. I wanted to look in the lens of their struggle and see themselves where they are, where they're going, day to day. And now is the time that you can make the change, that you deserve better. Your life shouldn't be the way it is today. Liberia deserve better. And we need a new leadership to take our nations, to be a part of the nations of the world. We're far behind. It's a laughter when you hear Liberia in the length of time today. So I ask you, you got somebody who at work in every sector of Liberian government, understand the plague that you people have. I think it's better that you make a better choice. Come or to I say thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Mr. Boda, and
that person is Joseph Yumabwaka.
Thank you, thanks again, Bishop Hager. But guys, we've successfully completed season 3 of the High Zone, and I'd like to say thanks to all of you who participated in helping us to reach this milestone. So the next time we take your opinion will be on season 4. But again, thank you so much for tonight, and thank you so much for all of the episodes that you contributed to. And to those of you in the audience, don't leave just yet. We will bring you the announcement next, and then we will draw the curtain to this episode. But for now, let's take a very brief break. When we come back, we'll bring you the announcement. Now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us throughout the show. Now, to draw the curtain to this episode and to season 3, let me bring you my announcement, our announcement from our announcement folder. So, again, thank you so much for your continuous support, and we hope to see you back on season 4. But for now, let me bring you the announcement we have, starting with the ANC Global East Coast Summer Extravaganza 2023, beginning July 21st to July 23rd in Providence, Rhode Island. So there'll be a soccer game, party, cookout, music. So on day 1, you will have the meet and greet between 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. And the address is on the flyer here. Day 2, Saturday, July 22nd, is a mini soccer tournament, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And on day 3, Sunday, is the service, Tabernacle Baptist Church, 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. So it's the ANC Global East Coast Extra Summer Extravaganza 2023. So for information on the ticket, contact 401-301-3213 and also 401-585-1809. In our next announcement, we have the Akana announcing a new project, that is the Akana Care Project. And the Akana Care Project is a support group led by Akana's Health Navigator. The project will host a monthly check-ins for community members. The project will provide educational resources, presentations, refreshments, entertainment. The team will offer support to cancer survivors, dialysis, and chronic illnesses. The elderly. They will offer support to elderly. The project duration is between June to November 2023. And for more information on this, you can call Lydia Moore at 215-729-8225 with the extension 106. Again, contact Lydia Moore on the Akana Care Project, and you can reach Lydia Moore on 215-729-8225 extension 106. The next announcement we have here is from a special joint Thanksgiving service of all Liberians in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, USA, celebrating the 176th independence of Liberia. And this event will carry the theme, Return to Righteousness, Liberia's Road to True Freedom, Recovery, and Development. Sunday, July 30th, 2023, venue is the Victory Harvest Fellowship International at 2536 South 59 South Street. No, I'm sorry. Let me read that again. 2536 South 59, Philadelphia, PA 19143. So that's it. For that event, the president, Apostle Matt Miller, will be present. Madam Seyonde Kofa, president of LAT, will be there. Reverend Winston William, president of ALMBCHCNEP. Reverend Anthony Tarr, President ULA will be there as well. So that is the 176th independence of Liberia under the theme, the celebration of the 176th independence of Liberia under the theme, Return to Righteousness. So that's it from our announcement folder, guys, and that's it for episode 12, season 3 of the High Zone. And we would like to say thank you so much for your continuous support. My name is Derek Yale. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. This is the network to follow on Facebook and YouTube. Until we see you again, let me bid you all a pleasant good night.
I'm feeling the vibes. Originalhits.com. Download your favorite song at Original Hits.
Music like Joey. Stop talking, eyes on the road. Don't be surprised when it's by when I'm home. You don't even care, you just wanna be ahead. But I'm in another gear, I'll pack and I'm gone. Why you gotta be like that? I take away a G, put a G right back. You take away a G, give it all to your G's. And you think you're hurting me? Nah, let it be no fronting now. No fronting, can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something, let it be no fronting now. Can't talk cause I'm up to something now. I'm up to something. Shorty got a hick on the neck and a grip on the back, but I'm great when I talk about it. Lucky I ain't call up on the gang, nigga run up on your man, start shooting. When we pull up in the lobby, it's a little bit of scream, I know. But this is the kind of thing I do. Man, I'm up to something. Man, I'm up to something. Probably call up on the gang like, they gon' really make it bang like, I'm just trying to get the plan right. Think I'm crazy, girl, you, hold up, wait. Probably call up on the gang like, they gon' really make it bang like, I'm just trying to get the plan right. Think I'm crazy, girl, you damn right. You damn right. Stop talking, eyes on the road. Don't be surprised when it's by when I'm home. You don't even care, you just wanna be ahead. But I'm in another gear, I'll pack and I'm gone. Why you gotta be like that? I take away a G, put a G right back. You take away a G, give it all to your G's. And you think you're hurting me? Nah, let it be.